What can I say? Annoyed, frustrated, should have known better. All of these things spring to mind. So recently we had a customer who was running a QNAP NAS device. So they're running a TS253 Pro with two 4 gig drives in. I'll show you a picture of the drive shortly. The issue that they had is they lost all of their connectivity, and when I went to investigate, one of the drives looked like it was faulty. So I took the drives away to try and recover the data and brought them back here to the office, and I've got a SATA to USB 3 adapter. So I connected the first drive to that and then plugged that drive into my main computer that I'm recording this on. Immediately the main board gave out 3 beeps and froze, so wasn't too sure what was going on, so disconnected the drive and rebooted the PC, and basically it was dead. It was stuck at the press the delete or F2 key to enter BIOS, wouldn't go any further. I cleared the CMOS settings, and after obviously switching it off, and also removed the battery, thinking that that might clear things, connected it back up, and exactly the same. So it looks like plugging this device into the USB 3 port or controller has blown that on the motherboard and ruined the motherboard. So the motherboard that I've got was a Asus Strix Z270F gaming motherboard, which I was using to overclock the system. Unfortunately, I can't get one of those in the UK. Can't find anywhere where I can buy one that isn't off eBay or similar, because I just don't know what I'm buying. I could do without the hassle of having to send it back when it doesn't work and then being ignored and not getting my money back. So I went onto the Overclockers website and found a motherboard which was a Z270P-D3, so that's the ultra durable motherboard. It was B grade stock, so I ordered that. It was £50, and that turned up without any cables or anything, so which is not a problem. I've got plenty of those. Did come with all the driver discs though, but I didn't need those. And then spent a day disassembling the PC, taking the motherboard out, and then putting the new motherboard in and getting us back up and running. So the lesson learnt here is, if you're going to be attempting data recovery from a customer drive, then the thing that you need to be aware of is make sure you've got an old system that you don't mind blowing up, or try and work out which the faulty disk is before, so you can then connect the mirror disk and recover the data from that. Unfortunately, in this instance, there was no indication of a drive failure on the QNAP device, and when I logged into the QNAP device, I wasn't presented with a login screen, so I couldn't get in there. I did manage to connect in via SSH, however, I couldn't get any of the file systems, or couldn't access any of the file systems on there, so it looks like whatever happened on the disk was pretty catastrophic. So how we progress this? Well, we've sent our disks away to a data recovery specialist. They're going to try and recover the data. I did hear back from them the next day, and they've said that the QNAP device uses a proprietary file system, which I'm not sure I believe, because it's just based on Linux. But they've said they need the NAS drive or the NAS enclosure itself, so I've sent that to them as well, and just waiting to hear back from them. Should hear back from them on Monday about that, but hopefully we will try and get some data off that, or they will try and get some data off that. It sounds like it's going to be very expensive, but the customer's happy to pay that. So yeah, that's where we are with things. So I've got a short clip of the blown motherboard, and also I've got a short clip which I'll stitch into this video in a second of a quick look at the motherboard once we've got everything connected, and then replacing the front three fans, which were really noisy whenever I turned on the PC. The bearings are obviously gone in those, so I bought some cheap fans and they are now installed. So that's all there is to it. I'll drop the videos in and show you the new motherboard and the old motherboard, but there's no signs of blown damage at all on the motherboard, so it might be repairable, but we certainly don't have the time to do that. The final part of the setup is to replace these three front fans that are making a right old racket when you power on the PC. So these are 120mm fans. So what we're going to do is we're going to remove all three of them. They connect into the fan controller here, and what we've gone for is some Antec F12 120mm case fans. This comes in a pack of 5, which is great, and relatively cheap, so I'm not expecting these to last too long, but apparently they are very quiet, so just need to make sure that we get the flow of air correct. So let's crack on. So the first thing we want to do is to turn this around so we can see what we're doing. Let's zoom in a little bit like that. There we go. So I've made a start. These are the easiest things. We just remove 3 connectors from the fan controller board like that. Then the next thing we want to do is we want to remove the primary disk tray. So this is crucial 1TB SSD drive. And then we want to remove the secondary data store, of which that's where most of the applications are sitting on. So we'll get that undone. It's a little bit tight. Okay, so we'll just remove this. A couple of screws here. These are sitting on a tray. Got a couple more trays to put in. One of the saving graces on replacing this motherboard was the fact that it's given me a great chance to give the whole system a really good clean. Okay, so let's remove the fans. we want to just make sure that the fan's all spin before we put all the sides back on. So let's have a look. It's just a fan spin test, this one. Always turn the plug on first. Perfect. So that's blowing, sucking through, which is exactly how it was before. And then we've got, yeah. Okay, so we've got another 3 trays here. Don't really need to be putting these in, but I am going to, seeing as that's how it was previous to me changing the motherboard. There's nothing sitting in there, but rather than lose them, because I think this is a great case, we'll just whiz those in. And it also helps break up the airflow as well. So if you like the video, give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to the channel, and thanks for watching.